Hey everybody, welcome back. Mike from Spectre Comics. And I was just about to start sketching a new Spectre comic page, and I wanted to capture some of that hand drawing for an upcoming video. So I'm going to show you how I set up in order to get the best quality footage of my hand drawings. Now, when I pull out my pencil, paper, and script in order to draw for a video, the goal is to get high quality video that's easy to see with not a lot of shadows. Now there is an expensive way to do this and a cheap way to do this. The cheap way is basically take your cell phone, set it up on a shelf above your drawing surface, hit record, and capture the footage. My way is a little more complex. Now I'm not suggesting you go out and buy a bunch of expensive equipment in order to get footage captured, but if you're already on YouTube, you probably have a bunch of this stuff laying around. I do have links in the description below of anything that I use to make my videos, so check those out in case you need one or two items that I'm talking about here today. Now, stay tuned to the end of the video. I will have a couple of tips for editing the footage you get when you're capturing hand drawings. So the three most important items I need to capture drawing footage are a camera, a tripod, and lighting. Now I've got the camera on a tripod pointing down at my drawing surface, and with this setup, it will capture your drawing at a slight angle. So one of the issues I tend to have is keeping the paper within the boundaries of the camera frame while I'm capturing footage. I tend to move the paper around when I draw, and I twist and I turn it so I can get my wrist at the proper angle when I'm drawing. With my old camera, which is a Canon EOS T3, it didn't have a flip out screen. So I couldn't like look up and see what's being captured on the footage. What I used to do is I would take tape and I would just go right outside the boundary of the camera. I'd look through the viewfinder. I'd see where the boundary of the camera was, and then I'd put tape to kind of identify the boundary, and it would be, you wouldn't capture the tape, but I would see it here, and I would keep the paper within the boundary, and then I know that I'm capturing footage. With my new camera, my Canon EOS M50, not only does it have a flip out screen, but it has a great app which connects right to the camera, and not only can I control the camera starting and stopping the video capture with that, but I can also see what the video finder is capturing right on my phone. So I can place my phone right in front of me while I'm drawing, and I can make sure that the camera is actually capturing what I'm drawing right in front of me. So if anything shifts off, I can just glance up and see if it's still in the frame. If it is, I'm good to go. So that is a great feature of a lot of the new Canon cameras, because I'm sure they all have the app. I only have the old T3 and then the M50. So both cameras are very good, high quality, but the M50 having the flip screen and the app are really helpful to capturing great footage. So the next thing I want to talk about, and probably the most important thing, is lighting. If you don't have good lighting shining on your drawing, you're not going to get good footage. It doesn't matter how good your camera is. With improper lighting, you're just going to get terrible footage. It's not going to be easy to see, and it's going to just look terrible. And obviously seeing what you're drawing is the most important part of the video that you're going to be making. So I have these two light boxes, came in a kit that I bought, and I usually use them to just light me when I'm making videos where I'm talking to the camera. So I set one up in front of me. Sometimes I have two, sometimes I have one. Depends if I want to cast a shadow. Like right now, I have one light, which is casting light on this side of my face, and this side of my face is in shadow just for making a more interesting shot. But when I'm drawing, I actually want to use both lights. And now you probably don't need something this elaborate, but you do need two lights. And so what I do is I set them both in front of me. If I'm sitting here and if I'm drawing in front of me and I've got the camera pointing down, I set up one light box to my right and one light box to my left, both shining at an angle down at the drawing. And the reason I do this is because it creates a situation where each light will cancel out the other light's shadows, so you get a nice lighted surface with not a lot of hand shadows. But it also, the shadows that do get cast are cast back. I do not want to put the lights behind me shining down over my shoulder, because then it will cast the light on my hands and cast shadows on the drawing. Now you're going to want to use a whiter light to capture your footage, otherwise your video will look quite yellow and it'll look terrible and it will be hard to see. The light bulbs in my light boxes are about 4500 Kelvin, which is a nice white light, and then you're going to want to match that setting with your white balance on your camera. Again, 4500 Kelvin will give you a nice white, kind of a daylight look. Now let's take some recorded hand drawing footage that I've already captured. We'll put it in the editor, and I'll show you some of those tips that I promised at the beginning of the video. Now I've got some footage here, so I'm going to go ahead and add it to my timeline. I'm using Adobe Premiere Elements 2022. The reason I use Elements is because it's a little less expensive of a program. It's very easy to use, and you know, I don't need a huge, crazy, big editor. Maybe someday I'll get Premiere Pro, but for what I need, for what I do, Premiere Elements actually works really well, and actually was able to do a combo pack of Photoshop Elements 2022 and Premiere Elements 2022 for $150. I thought that was a great price. So that's kind of what I use for my Photoshop, and that's what I use for my editing software. So the first thing we're going to do, though, with the footage here, you'll see the footage here, is I'm going to get rid of the audio because I don't really want to use the audio that I've captured on my camera for this footage. So we're just going to right-click on the timeline and delete the audio. Okay, and then so you will see now that the footage here runs over 20 minutes. Now, I'm not going to have a 20-minute video where I'm doing a voiceover of this video. So the first tip I'm going to tell you is you're going to want to, if you want to do like a speed draw video, you're going to want to shorten that duration. So you may want to, and you may want to go through the whole clip and edit some stuff out. So what I want to do is take the clip and I want to speed it up. This is a great way to do a speed draw video. If you ever seen those speed draw videos where they're drawing really fast, what they do is they just speed up the footage. The drawing may take an hour, but they've compressed the video. We have 20 minutes of footage here. I'm going to speed this up so it's like a lot shorter. So we'll go to right click on this, brings up this little menu. I'm going to select clip. I'm going to select time stretch, and then I can increase the percentage of the speed. So right now, 20 minutes is 100%. I'm going to go to like 800%. And that will reduce the video time down to 2 minutes. So now we can take a look at the video we've captured and see how fast it goes. And these are interesting videos to make, but you can do a nice little voiceover while the video is going on. But you can see how it speeds up the footage quite fast. So that's how you speed up the video. Now, one thing you'll notice, and this is probably the more important tip that I wanted to show you, the video shows my hands coming from the top of the frame. On top of that, the drawing is upside down. I don't really want that. So what you can do is you can select the video. I can either click on the video on the timeline or I can click on the video itself. And I want to rotate that 180 degrees so that my hands come from the bottom and the picture's right side up. So all you got to do, there's two ways to do this. One, the easy way is to just click the rotate button, which is right over here, and it will just rotate the footage for me. Hit it twice and it will get upside down. The other way to do it is if you notice there's a couple of grips on the corners and in the middle of each side of this rectangle. If I grab this grip, I can actually pull and rotate the video frame. The problem with doing that is I may not get it exactly 180 degrees, maybe off slightly and angled, and I don't necessarily want that. So the quicker and easier way to do it, that's more accurate, is to hit the rotate button. Now you see the footage coming from, again, the camera's up at the top, shining down, but the drawing is now right side up. If we go further in the timeline here, you can see more of the drawing. There's also, if you wanted to, you can actually zoom in. This is the bonus tip here. You can zoom in on the footage by grabbing these grips and just stretching past. And I can go ahead and slide around to get centered in the frame what I want to show. When you do enlarge, keep in mind the video quality will diminish a little bit. Not too bad, but it will be a little more grainy than if it was exactly as it was captured. But if you wanted to zoom in on something specific, you could do that. So like right here, I'm drawing down here, so I probably want to slide that up a bit to capture what I'm actually drawing, since the top of this drawing is already sketched out. So that's it for this video. Hope you found it helpful. That's how I set up my camera in order to capture hand drawing footage of my drawing, and then a couple of bonus editing tips in your editing software for your videos. If you have any questions on anything I talked about here, go ahead and put that in the comment section below. Again, I do have links to everything I use to make my videos in the description below, so go ahead and check those out if you need anything that you may not have that I've talked about here today. Thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. We will see you next time. Have a great day.